Imagine this. It's the year 2025. Artificial intelligence is everywhere. It writes our news, drives our cars, and diagnoses diseases faster than most doctors. But what if one of history's greatest minds, Albert Einstein, could see it all? What would he say? Would he be amazed, alarmed, or maybe among both? Welcome to History Reborn, where we bring legends back to life. Not through science fiction, but through their real words, writings, and beliefs, to imagine how they might respond to today's world. Let's begin with the man himself. Albert Einstein wasn't just a brilliant physicist. He was also a deep thinker on ethics, humanity, and the future of science. In 1946, he warned, "The real problem is in the hearts of men. It is not a problem of physics, but of ethics." Now fast forward to 2025. What would Einstein think about ChatGPT, self-driving cars, surveillance AI, and human-like robots? Einstein admired technology, but feared its misuse. He once said, "It has become appallingly obvious that our technology has exceeded our humanity, and that was long before the rise of artificial intelligence. Today, we are building machines that can simulate human thought, and in some cases, outperform it." Einstein would marvel at this, but he would ask the question, to what end? Einstein believed science must always serve humanity. In a letter to the philosopher Bertrand Russell, he wrote, "Our world faces a crisis which demands intelligent cooperation." He would likely view AI with both fascination and caution. Why? Because in the wrong hands, AI isn't just a tool, it becomes a weapon of manipulation, of surveillance, of control. He would ask, who decides how AI is trained? Who owns the data? Are we building knowledge or just building profit? For Einstein, conscience must always guide science. Without it, progress becomes dangerous. Here's a paradox Einstein would recognize. The smarter our machines become, the more uncertain we feel. Einstein once said, "The more I learn, the more I realize how much I don't know." He'd see this echoed in modern AI, because sometimes not even the creators of an AI model can fully explain how it made a decision. This black box problem would deeply disturb him. He would insist on transparency, on ethics, on international cooperation. Because to Einstein, knowledge without wisdom was a recipe for disaster. But what would Einstein actually suggest we do? Would he call for new laws, a scientific council, or a complete rethinking of education for the AI age? Let's explore his real-life ideas and how they could help us shape a safer, smarter future with AI. Narrator continues. Einstein believed education wasn't about memorizing facts, it was about training the mind to think. He once said, "Education is not the learning of facts, but the training of the mind to think." If he saw AI being taught to learn faster than children, he'd ask, are we educating humans to keep up? Are we teaching critical thinking, ethics, and digital awareness from an early age? He'd likely push for a global reformation in education, one where philosophy, ethics, and social responsibility are taught alongside coding and math. Because to Einstein, a brilliant machine is useless, if guided by an ignorant society. Einstein also carried guilt for his role in nuclear science. Though he didn't build the bomb, his work made it possible. This taught him a lesson, that scientists must never separate invention from responsibility. He might say, concern for man himself and his fate must always form the chief interest of all technical endeavors. Einstein would likely call on AI developers, coders, CEOs, and engineers to form an international ethical code. He'd urge transparency, accountability, and even a global watchdog that monitors high-risk AI development, like a United Nations for Artificial Intelligence. Einstein was a citizen of the world. He rejected nationalism and promoted internationalism, believing that only unity could solve humanity's biggest problems. He once said, "Nationalism is an infantile disease. It is the measles of mankind." He'd warn us that AI arms races between countries could destabilize global peace. that unregulated competition could create dangerous imbalances of power, that AI should never become a tool for surveillance or war. Instead, Einstein would promote international cooperation, shared research, and a global AI charter shaped by educators, scientists, and ethicists from every continent. To Einstein, intelligence alone wasn't enough. He believed in something deeper, wisdom guided by compassion. So if he stood here today, in 2025, watching AI evolve faster than any technology before it, he wouldn't just ask what it can do, he'd ask, what should it do? And who decides? Narrator, slower emotional tone. Now, let's imagine just for a moment that Einstein could stand before the world, one last time. Einstein, fictionalized speech, wise, firm, compassionate tone. Ladies and gentlemen, the progress of machines must never outpace the progress of mankind. Intelligence is not enough. We must match it with character, with conscience, with compassion. When I worked on the theory of relativity, I never imagined that one day machines might understand equations better than most humans, but I also knew that understanding equations is not the same as understanding life. Artificial intelligence can solve problems, but it cannot teach us kindness. It can mimic speech, but it cannot feel sorrow. It can write poetry, but it cannot dream. You, the people of today, must decide, will you use these tools to lift humanity or to divide it further? Technology is a mirror. It reflects who we are, not what it is. If you feed it your fears, your greed, your bias, it will amplify them. But if you feed it wisdom, humility, and hope, it will multiply your potential. The future will not be written by algorithms alone. It will be written by how you choose to use them. Do not fear artificial intelligence. Fear a world that forgets to use real intelligence wisely. Einstein once said, "The world is a dangerous place, not because of those who do evil, but because of those who look on and do nothing." He wouldn't urge us to stop progress. He'd urge us to guide it, to protect the weak, to question power, to remember that behind every line of code is a human being. So if Albert Einstein were alive in 2025, what would he say about AI? He'd say it is a tool with incredible promise, but only if guided by purpose, wisdom, and love for humanity. And that responsibility belongs to us. Thank you for watching History Reborn. Like, subscribe, share this story. Let Einstein's voice echo, not just in theory, but in the way we build the future.